Yeah, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zah. But anyways, man, shout out to everybody that's supporting the channel. Shout out to the real ones out there really putting in work, those really going to work and handling their business as a man, and those just being, basically handling their business as an adult. You know what I mean? Even for the youngsters, because there's some that have absolutely no kids. They're still out there handling their business, take care of their family. And for you, I'ma salute you off the back. So this video, I'm hoping to find some semblance of a balance as far as like positive and negativity. And the reason I say that is, like I said, by the title you can tell exactly what I'm gonna talk about. And this is dude Pooh Shiesty. Now understand, man, I'm a big fan of Pooh Shiesty as far as his music. I heard his ops music. I'm a fan of them too as far as like their music. I have no alliances to any of these cats, so it doesn't mean absolutely nothing to me. And my whole goal is not to talk down on this individual, but it's just to prove a fact. Now, I made a video prior back to cats running around with pistols and talking about what they'll do on the internet. And then when it comes time, they do absolutely nothing. And some of them, for the most part, bust that gun. But the shit that I try to prove it doesn't take a man to pull a pistol and get off. You know what I mean? It's a proven fact. The ones that really know how to just stand on they own, on all 10 and get it from here. It's a better thing to get it from here than to do this and take a life if possible. Now I understand there's some circumstances that's going to lead to that, because you'll have absolutely no choice for the most part, because cats now don't want to fight. They feel like they don't have to fight, and for the most part it's a lot of cowards out here, just to be honest. And that's not to put any particular group or any particular age on it. It's a lot of people like to be like, oh, it's the millennials, they're like this. It's bad teachings. You know what I mean? There's teachings that should have continued. Though negative, they should have continued drilling this into these people's head, that hey, it's better to get out there and get these and live to fight another day than to do this. And in that moment, you're gonna take a life, possibly take a life, and then you're gonna lose the rest of your life in prison, just sitting on the shelf. Now there's a lot of individuals that wish that they would have took an alternate route. Maybe they didn't go down the street, maybe they didn't jump in that car with that particular homies that's gonna turn around and tell on them anyway, the main one that's trying to pump him up to do all this nonsense. And understand, I never get on here to disrespect or talk against gangs, but it's just this is the type of outcome that I'm talking about. Now you had these rappers, like I said in the video, a lot of them like to boast about what they do, but they're not really about it. It's usually the ones that's in the cut next to them that's really the ones that's gonna do the drills and really gonna get out there and put it down. And I said that a lot of rappers now are trying to be the gangster that they portray. Like, you had rappers back in the days that just really wasn't with it. They had the image, but when it came down to you have conversation with these cats, these dudes super educated, and they basically utilized what they've seen on the streets and what they heard in order to get them to that place. Now Pooh Shiesty is funny, like I said, because he made all these videos about what he was doing, and just like a lot of other cats, it's like, man, it's just gonna get you caught up. But look, I say all this to say this: a gun don't make you shit. And that's a proven fact, because what happened as soon as he got busted, he either PC'd up or went to the psych ward. For us, off the back, if you be like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, there ain't no coming back from that. You stay over there, either EOP or you can't. There's no you come in here with the same energy that you had on the street, except with a lot more structure. You ain't gonna come in here wild banging on your enemies. You're gonna come in here and program. You know what I mean? It ain't the hardest program, ain't the easiest program, but you're gonna come in and program. Now you got individuals like that I be trying to explain to cats, like, man, you idolizing these cats that may be with the business on busing on the street, but when it comes down to being incarcerated, where there's no longer that gun, and you see in a lot of imagery and a lot of people's posts, they like, look, you may be this on the street, but when you come in here, without that gun, can you handle that? And then just show a cell just completely slathered in blood, and it's not fake blood. It's actually how they get down. And there's a lot of, and I get it, what I mean, for the people that ain't really wholeheartedly invested in this shit, that shit can get up here if you ain't really prepared for it. And it's obvious, it's more than obvious that Pooh Shiesty wasn't really about the business, because if he was, he wouldn't be PC'd up. I don't care out here if you get busted, you know what I mean, and you're some type of celebrity, they give you the options whether you want to run the main line, straight out. And even if they snatch you up and take you there, you got the option to sign a waiver to come out. I don't care how much money you got. You had OJ on them, you know what I mean? You had all these cats. So it's like, I say this, I try to say this all the time. Like I said, I'm not one of those mentors, and I'm not one of those people that speak against gangs. I always keep it real with motherfuckers and just tell them, like, if you're gonna get in it, know what the streets is about. And right now, LA is holding the murder rate and shootings, and hell is hot. You know what I mean? People may take it as a joke, and I try to deter people all the time. Like, look, if you really don't want to be a part of this, don't. Because at the end of the day, it's a lot of heartache. You're going to lose a lot of shit. And that's just a plain and simple. There ain't no getting around it. You're going to lose a lot. And it may seem like it's worth it at that time. And for some people, it might. But a lot of people reflect on that and think about, you know what I mean? Look, I could have been out on the street handling my business. But instead, I'm in here cheek the, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you and that motherfucker with a bunch of swinging dicks, you know? No homo, but it's like you in there with a bunch of swinging dicks. Ain't no females. The only females you may see are COs, and they're out of your reach. You know what I mean, for the most part. But yeah, when you think about the whole Pooh Shiesty thing, a lot of youngsters that's out there right now trying to emulate these same cats. Don't be like them. Don't be the cats that, you know, on the street you a straight cold killer. And then you get locked up, you ain't got your pistol, and all of a sudden you just bitch up. And I'm not, and let me just say something real quick. I'm not saying Pooh Shiesty actually bitched up because anything, you know, who's to know? He can come out later and be like, you know, this was a ploy for this or whatever. But as far as like out here, if you go EOP and you don't need meds, you're a bitch. If you PC up out here, you're a bitch. It's just plain and simple fact. There is absolutely no way of getting around it. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about for the cats that, you know, that was really on here just bombarding homies with bullshit. It's Mexicans that snitch, it's this and that, and you know, you have fools come back and be like, well, look at the first 48. You know what I mean? It paints a greater picture. But a lot of that I don't like to use because it makes a blanket statement. It's like, you know, you paint all people that are black as that, just like that them idiots that were saying all Mexican snitch. You keep seeing these cats that are PC'd up. They ain't homies. They ain't double S. They ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, that's all I'm gonna say about that. And that's just out of respect for mine. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's one of those things. Take this as a learning opportunity for the cats that really think the streets are what they are. A lot of these cats pull wool over your eyes and use absolutely every facade they can to make you believe that they are something other than what they are. People tell me all the time, like, you know, this guy can't be what he say he is. For one, I'm black. For two, I'm always representing. And for three, I just don't give a shit. It's about my family and handling my business and trying to get the bag, but I refuse to be disrespected by any cat. And for the most part, I tell you straight out, ain't no cat pushed up on me on the street with no issue and try to get it. Just straight out. Maybe it's for the simple fact that, you know, for the most part, I'm respectful in a lot of spots I go, but I still represent everywhere I go, so there ain't no excuse. It's just one of those things for the cats that like to be on the internet major woofing. Pay attention, you know. I got youngsters that I talk to all the time and tell them, man, is this really what you want? Because if it ain't no need of getting involved in this shit. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that it gets you caught up. It'll get you caught up, my son, you know what I mean? But, you know, and see, at the end of the day, that's what it's for, you know what I mean? When you try to do better and try to make yourself better, it's for your youngsters, you know what I mean? But I know I went all over the place. The whole thing that I was just trying to say, without slandering the dude, because I don't really know how it is in Florida, but as far as I know from every media outlet, dude is PC or in a psych ward. And out here, that's an absolute no-no. But, you know, like in other places, you know, some people don't check paperwork, so shit slides. But being that somebody on that level and was talking about back and blood and all this other shit, people are really paying attention. So, you know, hopefully dude gets out of jail and continues to do what he does, you know what I mean, and get that money. But understand, like, the people don't forget, and the streets don't forget, that you was out here claiming certain things, and, you know, saying that you do certain things, and then when that pressure built, which is, you know, jail, that incarceration, motherfuckers start singing a different song. I can tell you other people right now, the same shit. They're singing a different song. They were out here talking about who they drop and running drills on, and then as soon as they get busted, these motherfuckers become victims. They're getting taken advantage of. They paying rent, you know, all types of shit. Fools can say what they want about, but, you know, I can go and be kicking it, even though it's no need to go back to jail. I'm at an age where it makes absolutely no sense. But with that being said, man, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your night. But I will be dropping another video, you know, about somebody else, just pointing out little key points. You know what I mean? This one was all over the place, but like I said, I don't really have nothing against the fool Pooh Shiesty. I'm just saying, for the individuals that pay close attention to him, especially the youngsters, it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. And understand that you gonna mind somebody. Dudes may be hard on the internet and hard, but they ain't really like that when they hit them cages. Fools is really in there. You dealing with real monsters in them cages, and they loving to eat motherfuckers up. As you can see, Pooh Shiesty, green vest, custody, ain't out on the main line running it. But with that being said, man, you enjoy the rest of your day. And for the people coming to the event, man, hopefully, you know, we turn up and, you know, everything stays gravy. But I'm out.
Kneel before Zod!